Ahmed was a man known for his adventurous spirit. One day, he decided to embark on a journey through the vast desert, seeking solitude and a deeper connection with nature. Armed with only a backpack, some water, and a map, Ahmed set out with confidence, believing he could navigate the unforgiving terrain. As the sun blazed overhead, Ahmed walked for hours, marveling at the endless dunes and the quiet beauty of the desert. But as the day wore on, he began to notice something troubling. The landmarks on his map didn't seem to match the landscape around him. The dunes all looked the same, and the direction he thought was north seemed to lead him nowhere. The realization that he was lost hit Ahmed like a wave of cold water. Panic began to set in as he looked around, the horizon offering no clues to guide him. The sun was beginning to set, and the desert's temperature was dropping rapidly. He knew he needed to find shelter and conserve his water, but the vast emptiness around him offered no refuge. Ahmed's thoughts raced as he tried to remember the survival skills he had read about. He decided to follow the stars, hoping they would guide him to safety. The night was long and cold, and Ahmed's footsteps grew slower as exhaustion set in. As dawn broke, Ahmed's spirits lifted slightly with the rising sun. But the harsh reality remained: he was still lost, and his water supply was running dangerously low. With every step, the weight of his situation pressed down on him. The desert, once a place of beauty, had become a vast, silent enemy. Just when Ahmed felt he could go no further, he spotted something on the horizon, a small, dark shape that didn't belong to the natural landscape. With renewed energy, he stumbled towards it, hoping against hope that it was a sign of life. As he drew closer, the shape became clearer. It was an old, abandoned well. Though dry and unused for years, it offered a brief respite from the relentless sun. Ahmed sat beside it, gathering his strength and trying to stay hopeful. Days passed in a blur of heat and thirst, but Ahmed refused to give up. He rationed the last of his water and kept moving, driven by sheer willpower. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he heard something faint but unmistakable. The sound of distant engines. Using the last of his energy, Ahmed climbed to the top of a dune and waved his arms frantically. In the distance, a group of off-road vehicles appeared, heading his way. The rescue team had been searching for him ever since he had been reported missing. Ahmed was saved, but the experience had changed him. The desert had tested his limits, both physically and mentally. As he was driven to safety, he looked out at the vast expanse one last time, knowing that he had survived something few could understand. The desert, once a place of adventure, had become a symbol of survival and the resilience of the human spirit. Ahmed knew he would never forget the lessons he had learned in those endless sands.